In 1998, the Pennsylvania-based Buckshire Corporation agreed to retire 12 laboratory chimpanzees to primarily primates. Among this group was a chimpanzee named Oliver. In the 1960s, Oliver was captured in the African Congo and sold to animal trainers who brought him to the United States. This would begin his sensationalized life as one of the most exploited and studied chimpanzees in history. Early on, promoters were quick to point out that many of his traits were un-chimpanzee-like, and he possessed human traits, like walking upright, which they claimed he did naturally. There are many legends about Oliver. One suggests he enjoyed watching TV while drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar with his owner. Oliver first came to widespread public attention in 1976 when he was sold to a New York lawyer who promoted him as the missing link. The lawyer and Japanese promoters flew Oliver to Japan for genetic testing. In addition to pointing out Oliver's human-like qualities, it was claimed that he had 47 chromosomes, one more than a human, one less than a chimp. Oliver appeared on Japanese television and was seen by more than 26 million people. Despite this impressive media event, the results of Oliver's genetic testing were inconclusive, and his whirlwind Japanese tour quickly came to an end. In the late 1970s, Oliver was sold several times and exhibited in amusement parks and sideshows as a freak of nature or missing link. He eventually all but vanished from the headlines. Having been sold to the Buckshire Corporation, which leased chimpanzees to laboratories for scientific research, Oliver endured 7 long years alone in a cage. His muscles atrophied from the close confinement. In 1998, the Buckshire Corporation agreed to retire 12 laboratory chimpanzees to primarily primates. After living in the solitary confinement of small cages, this would be the first time in years, and perhaps their entire lives, that they would live in groups and be able to climb. Entering their new home for the first time, they quickly greeted each other. The effects of years in solitary confinement could be seen in the color of their skin and fur. While most entered in a crouched-over position, one chimpanzee walked out of his transport cage completely upright.
Hi, Ollie!
His name was Oliver.
Wow, Ollie, you stand up. Look at you. Oliver, you gotta climb up to chase her. Come on, Oliver, climb. Gotta climb, Oliver. There you go. This is the first time he's climbed, right?
It is nearly 10 years later, and because Oliver is mostly blind and arthritic, it's dangerous for him to live with larger chimpanzee groups. While there have been several attempts to introduce him to singular companions, it's proven safer for now to allow him to live alone. Only a few habitats away is another chimpanzee named Raisin, who has also needed special care.
She is an ex-research animal who was used in hepatitis studies. And she got her name Raisin because they did so many liver biopsies or studies on her that her stomach has all these sutures and her stomach looks like a big raisin.
Several months ago, Raisin was introduced to this habitat where she walked on grass for the first time in years. While she's seemed happy in her new home, the younger chimpanzees she shares it with have recently begun to pick on her. Because of this, the decision has been made to move Raisin, and unbeknownst to Oliver, he will soon have a new companion. It's a few days later, and the animal care staff inspects a new safety barrier installed by the local Eagle Scout troop. Although the occupants of this enclosure are 2 of the most gentle residents at the sanctuary, these bright yellow chains are a quick reminder to stay out of reach of the powerful grasp of the chimpanzees. On the other side of these chains, Oliver relaxes in the sun while his new habitat mate, Raisin, appears from her afternoon nap. Only a few days earlier, Raisin was introduced to Oliver, and while there were a few tense moments at the beginning, they quickly became friends.
She seems to really be getting along in her new enclosure, and she seems to be spending a lot of time with Oliver. It's working out nice. They've gotten to this point now where you see them, they'll sit side by side, and they look like they really care about each other. In the case of Oliver, what I'm worried about with him is that he may have a stroke. He's been known to have strokes. So our plans right now are to allow them to continue their introduction here, and then we're going to move them to our new enclosures.
In the next few months, this grass-bottomed habitat will be fitted with safety nets and hammocks so that these two new friends can live out their lives in comfort and safety at Primarily Primates.